Hello and welcome to our 15th session of the Light Body Manifestation Program. I'm Mercedes Kirkel, the guide for this program, and happy to be back once again with everyone. And let's see, our topic for this week is deepening in the inner temple of the heart. So I did some slides this week, so I'm going to go to the slides. So give me just a moment here. All righty. So for our celebrations and mornings, this is our topics that we've been focusing on, especially in the past week. Going into the inner temple of the heart and your experience of the inner temple of the heart, how it's been for you with the feminine way of entering the heart versus the masculine way, and any experiences you have had that you're open to sharing about meeting with your higher self. So I would love to hear what's happening with everyone. So if anyone is willing to share, please unmute yourself and let's talk about what's happening now.
So I'll start. And I had a very good meditation on the inner temple of the heart when I listened to the tape on Friday. And it was kind of unexpected. It was kind of going into space. It was dark in this, but it was a transparent darkness, so I could see through in the darkness. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of a little bit of like although it was in space, it was protected. It was like a cocoon-like feeling, and it was without any edges. It was kind of like a liquid thing. And so then I asked about the inner higher self, and she said that she had been with me all the time, and then she had two main purposes. One was to bring everything in my life that I needed, that I had asked for, and that I could not remember, but she remembered. Mm-hmm. And the second one was that my other thing in life was to remember. So she had kind of helped me with that. So that was nice. I mean, that was good. I had been asking for a long time to communicate with the higher self, so it was a pretty clear communication. Mm. And then about the feminine way, it was kind of interesting. I went to the sacred space of the heart, and I was trying to think what it could be, the temple, and I started thinking, and then finally I said, well, it could be something that I don't expect it, so let's not have any expectations. And then it was a little bit almost like an orgasm, in the sense that I was able to go when I let go, when I kind of, open myself to the experience as opposed to trying to get there. And I went back only once. It's been 15-hour days, and I have not spent too much time for myself, but I will keep going. So it was very good. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And I want to say something about that feeling, reminding you in some ways of orgasm, that I love that. I loved hearing that. And I so agree, and that's part of the feminine experience of letting go and allowing and surrendering. And that this process that we're going to be continuing on from now is in many ways a sexual process at the subtler levels. And so I feel very happy to hear that you're having some sexual experience with it. It's one sign of validating for me that, yes, this is really alive, because it actually is an energetic sexual process that we're engaging. So I'm happy. I celebrate. Thank you. So,
Well,
what else would you like? Oh, great. Hi.
I feel like mine kind of ties into that. It was interesting because I had such a powerful experience when we did it together last time, and Jesus was there, and it was almost like it was such a powerful experience that then afterwards I felt like it kind of went into like a contraction almost, that then I was like, now I feel so ordinary and like disconnected or something. What Maria said was interesting because I didn't make this connection, because after that experience, like something like opened up with my sexual energy, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have so much, like every time I would just sit to meditate, I had so much like sexual energy, like almost like I don't even know what to do with it. And then I was like, I guess I don't have to do anything with it, just like cycle it through. But it was interesting because what I didn't say, I think because I was a little I think it was just like that old Catholic like shame, was in the first experience with Jesus in the sacred temple of the heart, like I felt a lot of sexual energy there, and I was like, I almost sent you an email about it because I felt like it's Jesus. Like I'm not supposed to feel that.
Yes, it's sad. It's funny, but it's also sad that we've so indoctrinated that.
I know, right? And I was like, well, I guess I do feel it. So somehow I feel like this is all connected. I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. But yeah, it was like I was so connected. Then I felt disconnected. And even though I say that, then I spent like the weekend like building altars in my house, which isn't like a normal thing for me. So I don't know what's going on. It's good.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Joy, can you hear me okay?
Sure can. Hi.
Great, hi. So my experience, so I went to, it feels like for me that there is sort of additional healing and things are coming up to kind of be healed. And so this past weekend I went to a Gaia gathering, and it was one of the events, there was it was a pretty small group, but one of the events was a native pipe ceremony. And during the pipe ceremony, somebody came who I was having a lot of judgment about. And so it was really interesting because I was really, asking for help with the whole judgment thing. And after the ceremony, and in fact, it was so bad that the person who was giving the ceremony said that, sometimes the pipe will say, it's not the right time. She asked if it's the right time and place, and sometimes the pipe will say no. And I was like, oh, please say no, please say no. This is so bad. And so afterwards, I was like, okay, really, I just need help with this judgment. And what dropped in was a time in my life that I had done exactly what this person had done, or it's close enough to be. And so, of course, that just changed everything. It was like, okay. So it brought me to much more of a sense of well, it was interesting. It did two things. So it's a sense of compassion, but it also, I was talking to somebody about it, and they were pointing out that, and it sounded sort of like things that you have said, Mercedes, if I can bring the person who's judging and the person who's being judged, which would now be me, kind of together. And so anyways, it was just, it just feels like some of old things are coming up to be healed for me. That's amazing.
Were you able to bring the Magdalene Heart Path process to the judgment?
I was able to do it a little bit, and my idea was that when I got home, I would do more of it. And so now my idea is when we get off the call, I'll do more of that. So yes, but that's what I was really trying to do. And but yeah, I think a little more work on that would be good.
Yeah, I think so. So how did that relate to your going into the inner temple of the heart?
I think that, we talked about, for me, it just feels kind of tight going in, and I don't, when I try to go in the feminine way, it just feels very closed to me. And I can go in the masculine way, but even there, I don't feel an expanse. I feel, we talked about that a little bit, that may be being more of a birthing kind of thing. And so it just feels like other things are coming up to be dealt with, to as part of that process. Does that make sense?
So do you have a sense that you're actually entering into the inner temple of the heart?
Well, I don't know. I'm definitely entering into the heart, and it's all so small that maybe that's the temple too. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't necessarily assume that.
Okay.
It would seem to me that you might just be encountering some kind of wounding that's feeling that you're contracting in relation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah. So probably something to look at a little bit more this week.
So I have a couple suggestions.
Sure.
One is that you may need, okay. The first one is feel free to go in the masculine way if that feels stronger for you, no matter what I'm leading. If I'm leading the feminine way, it doesn't matter. You just go do what's strong for you.
Okay.
So I definitely recommend that.
Mm-hmm.
They're all just options. The second thing is I recommend, don't try to push yourself to follow what we're doing if it feels like yourself is saying no, 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 or I'm only going to do this part and I'm going to stop here.
Mm-hmm.
I would trust that and be with that. And your higher self, I am quite sure, is recording everything in terms of instruction. And so it may be that you will do this on a different timing.
Right.
And I completely trust that process. So I would say, if you feel like I'm right here and that's where I need to be right now, great. Just go with that and don't try to go beyond it if we're doing something beyond that point.
Mm-hmm.
And know that if you continue, it will come in.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Rajinder. So are we just talking about our experience this week?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Basically the three things with continuing with the connecting with the inner temple of the heart, with the feminine way of going into the heart, and with experiences relative to the higher self.
okay, I think I've done both the feminine and the masculine, and it just depends on, it seems like if I'm under a lot of stress, it's easier for me to do the masculine, maybe because it's a little more structured.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm more relaxed, I can do the feminine way. And then, yeah, it was yeah, I had to go back with my family and deal with that funeral and everything. So I did it several times while I was there just to kind of get filled up in my heart so I could be, more of a support for my family members. And at one point, I struggled often with my mother. So at one point when I was in the inner temple, the message was, make peace with your mother. So an opportunity arose and it was really beautiful. And it was a really heart connection. It was pretty cool. So that was really good.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Thank you. Really am happy for you and I'm really happy that you chose to share that with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I basically do that too. I use the masculine and feminine way at different times. I personally tend to the feminine way more often because it's probably my nature, but I make use of both depending on what's going on with me and where I'm at any particular time, and totally give myself the freedom to do that. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling a desire to do a little work with what was coming up for you, Joy, in that event this weekend relative to, connecting with the Magdalene Heart Path. And I'm wondering if you're open to that.
Sure. I would like to get my notebook to look at it. Really quick. I'm just going to take a look. Go ahead and start doing that.
I can wait.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So can you remember the moment where you first started having feelings coming up?
Yes.
And what was it that was being done in that moment?
So it was a person who I'll just put was acting inappropriately, in my opinion.
What were they doing?
So it started, there was a Thanksgiving address, and it started where she just read her parts very oddly. And then the next day, she blew up with an explicative at breakfast at one of the participants and stormed out.
So that's two different points in time. So which is the point in time where you first started having the feelings, or which was the strongest point in time that you, like when you think about it, that's the one that kind of really comes to the forefront?
Okay, there are three. And so then the next time was this person was talking, they were talking together, and she blew up at her again. And so I guess it's the third one.
Okay. So they were talking and she started to call her names or
basically swearing. Yeah, and basically what I found out, because I checked with the person afterwards, so I'm going to tell you kind of the whole thing so then we can figure out, which piece here. I just wanted to make sure she was okay, and I thought she was actually trying to help the person, kind of chill out. But what had happened was the person had stolen something from her car and trashed her car, and they were talking about it. And so, let's go with the stolen something from the car and trash the car part.
Okay, so when I heard that this person had taken things from another person's car and done damage to their car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the stimulus. What were the feelings that were stimulated in you when you became aware of that?
So the feelings were, I guess, I think indignant. would
Oh,
be
I
a good
love
one.
that. That's a juicy one. Thank you. Indignant. All right.
Here's
So,
a good trigger.
all right. Were there any judgments that went with that indignation?
Indignant is just a judgment in my mind, anyways.
Oh, I consider it a feeling.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Can't you feel that in your body? I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
indignant.
Yeah, no, it is, but for me, it's because I think something should be another way than it is.
So they're wrong.
They're wrong.
That's wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she was definitely wrong.
Okay. And what was wrong? Stealing was wrong. Trashing the car was wrong.
And just the particular person too is somebody that I like very much, and so I think it was more that the effect it had on this person than whatever it was.
The way she's treating this person.
Right.
Okay. Is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other judgments there?
I think just because of what the event was, it was sort of it was all magnified a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That was really the main one, though.
Okay. So I'm going to read the judgments. That's wrong. Stealing is wrong. Damaging the car is wrong. The way she's treating this person is wrong.
Right.
Okay. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is to set all that to the side just for now, the judgments, and see if there's any other feeling besides indignant that arises when you set the judgments to the side.
Generally it's sad. It's always sad for me.
That's what I was guessing. Okay, let's go with sad. So what inner divine qualities is the sadness pointing to that weren't being fulfilled for you?
Harmony would be a big one. Peace.
Peace.
Mm-hmm. And then and safety, emotional safety.
Mm-hmm.
A good person.
And how about respect?
Yeah, that would be a big one.
Okay, harmony, peace, emotional safety, respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those would probably be the main ones.
So now what I want you to do is go inside to the place where you know what it's like to have that harmony, that peace, that emotional safety, and that respect.
Okay. Yeah.
You're there. Just give yourself that experience for a little bit. Notice what it's like to have that.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. What did you experience when you had those things?
Really peace. think would be the biggest one.
Okay.
And ease.
Okay. So I have a feeling this might be connected for whatever reason, and I don't even need to know, to you going into the heart. Is this experience that you're having now? And what I want to do is just invite you in whatever way feels right to you in the meditation that we're going to go into,
Mm-hmm.
to spend time with this place that you just connected with, where you know the fullness of harmony, peace, emotional safety, and respect.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what's coming up a little bit is a lot of, really where I get actually most of the inner divine qualities is when I'm in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's still kind of outward, if that makes sense. And so bringing, so I feel that, but bringing it in, maybe that's why I'm having a hard time going in.
Well, and I'm wondering if that's what your sacred space of the heart is going to be for you.
Right.
Is nature.
Yeah. That would make sense. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to share that I was listening to a video today that was talking about the history of the Old Testament of the Bible. And since I'm a person who's never read the Bible, I'm catching up and learning about these things. And one of the things it was talking about was the Temple of Solomon and the description of the Temple of Solomon in the Bible. And that the main space in the temple was, when you entered the temple, it was called the holy space. And then at the very back of the holy space, it was called the Holy of Holies. And that was supposed to be where you experienced God, in the Holy of Holies. And it seems so much to me talking about what you might call the architecture of the heart. And that main chamber that they were calling the holy space just totally related for me to the sacred space of the heart. And the Holy of Holies totally correlated for me to the inner temple of the heart. So I was happy and excited and wanted to share that. And I don't know if other people have a particular connection to that or not, but I thought that might be rich for some people to hear that and might support what you're already experiencing. So I wanted to share that. So for today, we have another meditation, and then if we have time, another teaching piece that I want to teach you. And I also want to just give an overview at this point about where we are in time in terms of the structure of the course and our meetings. That we have this week, which is our 15th session, and then we have 2 more sessions scheduled, with a third one that we said is optional if we need it. And at this point, it's looking like we probably are not going to need it, but I want to wait till, we actually get there and just see how people feel. And I'm very open to having a meeting then if people would like, but I see us at this point covering everything that I have planned in the next 2 weeks. And just to give you an overview, the next 2 topics that we're going to be covering, which are near and dear to my heart, both of them. One is activating the double serpent pathway within each of you, and then activating your angel wings. So I'm so looking forward to this and sharing this with you. And then what's going to happen is that you're going to have a break from our meetings for the month of June. And that was, what's the word I want to use? I designed that intentionally so that would just be what my intention is that the month of June is going to be a practice time and integration time. That by then we will have covered a whole lot of material. And I think it's really important for you to have time to just rest with it, go deeper with it, make it your own, really integrate, rather than just keeping on adding more and more and more, which could get overwhelming. So that's the preview of what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. And that will complete what I'm seeing as our second module, which is the whole part of activating the heart and everything associated with the heart. And after we come back in July, then we're going to start working with the higher chakras, and especially the pineal chakra and the third eye chakra. So we'll be moving on to that center and beyond when we come back starting in July. But for now, this will be our kind of resting point of really fulfilling and then deepening and integrating the work with the heart. So I just thought that might be helpful to give a picture of where we're headed, a kind of update on our map as we're going along. So what I want to do for today is to do a second meditation for going into the heart, into the inner temple of the heart. And if you give me a moment, I'll call up my notes. Okay. So in this meditation, I'm going to lead it again in the feminine way, but as I was saying before, I encourage you to follow your guidance. And if I'm leading it in the feminine way and you want to do the masculine way, do what your guidance is saying and what feels strong to you. And it does not matter. What matters is that it works for you and that you are able to move into the sacred space of the heart and then the inner temple of the heart. So just do what's right for you. But I will lead it in the feminine way. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in the same way we have been, where we're going to start with the Holy Trinity meditation, connecting with Mother Earth, Father Sky, and ourselves as Divine Child. And then moving up to the pineal chakra. And then I'm going to just do a very simple, like just start to move and let yourself move. And when you stop, you're going to be in the sacred space of the heart. So we're kind of accelerating it a little bit, not so much broken down. And then again, asking for light and feeling the vibration. And then doing that again, letting yourself move. And when you stop, you'll be in the inner temple of the heart. And there, again, asking for light and feeling the vibration. And then at that point, what I'm going to suggest is that you ask someone to come into the inner temple of the heart and to join you there, and you're asking them in the form of their higher self, someone who you really love. And this can be someone who is alive now, or someone who has died, who you would like to talk to, It can be someone who's not yet born, maybe a new being coming into the realm. It doesn't matter because, as we said before, in the inner temple of the heart, time is spherical. So you can connect with someone from any time, any place, any space. Can be one of your guides, whoever you feel moved to call on. And know that in the inner temple of the heart, this is absolutely real. You're not just imagining this. This is an actual real connection that you're having. And one of the intentions of this meditation is to make your connection with the inner temple of the heart more personal, and to give you more practice with going in and having whatever experience you have. So that's the recommendation for this meditation. And it'll be roughly the same amount of time, like around 25 minutes. So I will be guiding you in, and then I will mute myself, turn off my video, and leave you in with your meditation, and then I'll come back when it's time and let you know that it's time to come back now. Any questions about that before we do that? Okay, so I suggest that you get in your asana. We're going to be, in a sitting asana for this, and that you have your mind fold so that you are blocking out the light, which is one of the things that tends to be very supportive in going into the heart space, is to not have the external light. Eventually that won't matter. You won't need the mind fold to do this, but in the beginning, as you're learning the process, for most people, it's very supportive. Okay, so make yourself comfortable in your asana, and then begin with relaxing your belly, letting your breath drop down into your pelvis, and letting your breath become rhythmic. Relaxing your shoulders, allowing your chest and heart region to open. Relaxing the back of your neck and your jaw so that your head is balanced on the top of your spine. And relaxing all the muscles of your legs, especially the large muscles at the tops of the legs. So there's a feeling of connection between the soles of your feet and the crown of your head. And then placing your awareness at your heart. And if you like, placing your right hand on your heart. And then from your heart, sending love to Mother Earth's heart, at the very center of the earth. Feeling the connection between your heart and Mother Earth's heart as you send her love. And then noticing her love coming back from her heart to your heart. And if you like, you can place your left hand over your right on your heart as you do this. And fully receiving Mother Earth's love back into your heart and your whole self. Which she will always send to you because you are her divine child and she loves you. And then letting that connection with Mother Earth's heart and love continue as you shift your focus back to your heart, and from your heart sending love now to Father Sky in one of his forms, which might be the sun, a star, or a group of stars, the Milky Way galaxy, the great central sun of our universal system. Whatever form feels alive to you, send love from your heart to Father Sky in that form. And when you're ready, receive Father Sky's love back into your heart in the form of light, which he will always send back because you are his divine child and he loves you. And then at your heart, feel Mother Earth's love, Father Sky's light coming into you, connecting with you as the divine child, even as they are loving each other. And now allowing yourself to move in your awareness up to your pineal chakra. And from there, we're going to engage the feminine process, if that feels right to you, to allow yourself to begin to move. And when you stop, you will be in the sacred space of the heart. When you arrive at the sacred space of the heart, ask for there to be light. And feel the vibration. And now, if it is right for you, I suggest that you engage the feminine process again to let yourself begin to move And when you stop, you will be in the inner temple of the heart. And from this place in the inner temple of the heart, ask for there to be light. And feel the vibration. When you're ready, invite in someone who you really love from any time, place, or dimension. And have a conversation with them. I am going to leave you now, and I will be back in about 25 minutes to let you know when it's time to come back. And now it's time to begin to return. Leave yourself in the inner temple of the heart, where you can stay as long as you're able. But come back into the space of our meeting very gently. And when you're ready, remove your eye shade and open your eyes. And welcome back. So I'd like to invite some time for sharing, if anyone feels so moved, to talk about what you experienced in that meditation.
This is Joy. So I went to the just a natural place. It was
Joy, I just missed what you said. Could you say that part again?
sure. So my the space of the heart was just a natural setting, and then the inner temple was like a large hollowed out tree.
What
And
inner temple was what?
a large hollowed out tree.
Ah,
And and so I invited them there, my husband and it, well, lots of it got very crowded actually, um, and so it was kind of a combination of having tea and then
I'm sorry, I missed that. A combination of what?
having tea,
Ah,
tea, and then pipe ceremony, but kind of more people came in. So it was the person I was having an issue with, and me, the younger me, and so sort of a ceremony with the three of us, and then we still got my angel in, and and then it was put it back to just bending and me, but it was um, yeah, I'm having trouble describing it, obviously. Um, yeah, but anyways, that was kind of the gist of it.
how did it feel to you? What were your feelings as you were experiencing?
Um, sad. It's definitely some emotion there, and but then also, glad that I can have the experiences. Yeah, it's a little bit, it's mixed.
Yes.
It's the United States.
And how did that space feel to you, the more natural setting and then the hollowed out tree?
That felt good. Yeah, that felt very right.
Wonderful.
Um,
All right. Thank you very much.
and
So this is Maria. I had been wrestling a little bit with the divine child in the meditation about feeling being the divine child. So so yeah, so in the meditation I tried to connect to that in a certain way. I gave myself permission by saying, well, by being the divine child is that I can go to the sacred space of the heart. So maybe I should not try so hard to figure it out. And so I went to the places, and the feminine way it's easy, but it's not necessarily fast. I really need to relax in the place and feel it, as opposed to try to go immediately to the next step. So especially in the temple, I when you said connect to someone else, I realized that I was not there fully yet. So I took my time to feel the place and get like immersed. Okay. And then, so the place feels, in those places I feel full in a certain way. It's like that's the place in which all my inner divine qualities are met, so I don't have any needs. And so when you were working with joy, I realized that it doesn't matter which inner divine quality. When you say go to the place that you feel that inner divine quality, is always the same place that I go. It's not like the self-respect has a different feeling than from, I don't know, connection or communication, or and then after a while, okay, I never feel the what I would call vibration in that place. I always feel what I think it's the archangel singing. For the my sense is that they are singing for the universe, and they're always singing. It's not something that I just need to connect to it, and it's always there.
Oh, I love that.
And so when I was there, which is kind of a space with the stars and things like that, I said, well, what do I do now? And then I realized that I could play with them, that the stars were not these fixed, big, bulky scientific ideas that we have for the stars, but that the stars are just, things that I can play with. And then the person that I tried to communicate, I didn't have anyone special, so I didn't ask for anyone. I said, anyone that I really love that wants to show up. So then my oldest brother showed up. This is someone that I have played with as a child. And it was strange communicating with him in this higher self way. But basically the higher self, his higher self, felt also like someone that has his essence, if I want to say it that way, but it didn't have all the pluses and minuses that he has in this life. Yeah, it was someone whose inner divine qualities were met at that time. So he asked, he's been sick, and he was asking that after taking care of everyone for so long, he now wanted to be taken care of. So that was nice. And then I just, the rest of the time, I felt that I did all that in 5 minutes. So the rest of the time, I just felt like a comet wandering through the universe and flying and dancing and whatever. Nothing very.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a place that I like. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else want to share what they experienced in the meditation?
Yeah, I'll go. I don't know. I mean, I'm really tired today and I feel like I don't remember much of the meditation, but then afterwards I was crying. So I'm not really sure. I don't have a lot of memories. It was more like, more like a feeling of just being really like expansive, like even though, and I said this last time, like even though I was in that small space, it was like taking up like, I just felt my presence in like every part of my body. But that's all I really have right now. I don't know why I was crying, but yeah. So thank you.
You're very welcome. And sometimes it can just feel like a connection with more the consciousness side of the divine, where it's not so much an experience, it's just a connection, it's just union with God in a very kind of pure form without the experience.
I love that. I was trying to call in my beloved, who I haven't met yet. So that's whose higher self I called in. And that wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. So it's okay. I think maybe I thought about that too much, and then it's okay though. But I do feel like it was more of just that experience with being connected to consciousness. So thank you.
Wonderful. You're welcome. Anyone else want to share anything? Okay. So we have a choice at this point. We could end here for tonight. And I'm kind of leaning towards doing that this would be, I feel like, a good resting point. And then next week we'll go into starting something new and learning a whole new thing. Or if you really feel like you want more and you want to go into opening up a new topic, we could do that. We have about 35 minutes. So I could go either way. What is the preference for all of you?
I would like to stop. This is Rajender.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I feel pretty full, so it would be okay to stop.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel the same. That feels good.
All righty.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay. Good. We're in agreement. Yeah. And that actually feels the best to me. And then we'll start fresh and have a whole new place we'll be embarking on, next week. If, again, I really encourage everyone to share any of your experiences with me that you feel moved to by email during the week. I really, really love when you do that and appreciate it so much because it keeps me really connected to your process. So, you know, if you feel moved and there's something that's alive for you, I welcome hearing that. So, yeah, I think I'd like to end with celebrations and mornings for tonight and sort of where we're at in the process, because we're moving into a completion point of another phase. We're not there yet, but we're well into it. We're close. So since we have a little extra time, I'd like to open it up for that. So anyone have any celebrations or mornings they'd like to share?
Yeah, I have one. I've been having a hard time feeling so much, in the sense that all the negative feelings that I've been pushing down for so long are wanting to come up. And sometimes I feel like, oh, now I know why I pushed them down so much for so long. So I have to say that although I'm really happy about all these, you know, the higher self and all the experiences that are so fulfilling during my everyday time, I am wrestling. When people say something, I take it very personally. So, you know, I realize I need to deal with all these other things like confidence and connection and compassion. And so I feel that I'm getting too many incidents of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was to say that I'm a little mourning that, and I understand it's a phase, and maybe until the hard path becomes more automatic. I mean, I cannot always connect immediately. I have sometimes to wait till the evening or the next day to deal with it. So, but I take it like it's a way, you know, that if you open your heart, you are going to feel everything, not only the ones I want to feel, but everything else too. So that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it, and I have a very strong feeling that this is bigger than just you, that this is something that others are probably experiencing also. And I have a few things I'd like to say in response. I definitely see this as a transition, not necessarily, you know, overnight, but not forever either. That it's a wave of reaction really to, you know, suppressing those feelings for so long, and then suddenly, you know, kind of opening the lid on Pandora's box.
Yeah. Feels that way, yeah. Okay.
So one of the things I want to remind you of is that you're in choice, and you can choose how much you want to open to this or when you want to open to it, and you can choose not to open to it. You can regulate. You can say, I'm overwhelmed. I can't take in anymore right now. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm out of balance. I need more joy, more ease, more peace, whatever it is that you're needing. And you can really be in choice about that.
Okay.
And the other thing is to get really clear about what the inner divine qualities that aren't fulfilled for you in feeling those feelings,
yeah.
Which might be some of the ones I just listed, like ease or emotional safety or peace or I'm guessing those are some of the big ones. Joy, maybe just, feeling enough joy and then really think about what can you do in those circumstances to bring that in, to bring more peace, to bring more emotional safety, to bring more joy, and attend to yourself in an active way in the midst of it. Which is not to say to suppress it, but to support the other side of you too. It's not like you just have to lay down and be overwhelmed by pain all at once either. That you can support the inner divine qualities that aren't met by doing that.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Other celebrations and mornings.
I just wanted to thank everybody for kind of walking through the teamwork processes today. It's just nice to have a safe place to do that in. So I really appreciate everybody. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Other celebrations or mornings?
This is a little bit pigtailed onto what Maria was saying. So if you find that you keep coming back to the same inner divine quality not being fulfilled, and then you're doing these practices and you're doing whatever, and you still can't seem to get that.
I'm really having a hard time hearing you.
You know, it's like, for me, it's circle. Time hearing me? I'm sorry.
It kind of came back. Could you say what you just said again?
Oh, my computer. Can you hear me?
Right now I can.
Okay. Okay, so kind of dovetailed to what Maria was saying. A lot of emotions and a lot of what she said were negative emotions. Yes, negative or positive. They don't feel good, whatever.
Painful.
So painful, thank you. So I know the inner divine qualities that need to be fulfilled, but it keeps coming back. It's like I keep circling around to the same thing and I can't get it.
Are you open to having some help?
Not now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of overdone. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I suspect that you haven't found the inner divine quality yet. That there's a deeper inner divine quality that's like the kingpin that's holding it all together, and that you're not there yet.
Okay. All right. I'll keep working on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And you can ask your angel and your higher self for help. Okay. Any other celebrations or mornings for tonight or bigger, this point in our process? Okay. then I think that,
I have one more thing to say.
okay.
When I connected to the higher self, she told me that she had 3 ways of communicating. One is just by living, meaning it's a guesswork. The other one is what we call the unconscious.
Meaning what? What was the first one?
Well, that, life happens,
Mhm.
and that's where you get your messages. And
Oh,
you have to guess them.
yes.
There's no, as I was telling Joy, there's not this, that the skies open up and there's this voice telling you anything. Then the other one is what I've been calling the unconscious, and then or the shadow. Yeah. So when I thought about those things, I really was able to heal a relationship that I had for many years that I had dealt with it, and I had done all the exercises, but there was always something there. And I realized that this guy is completely oblivious. For some reason, he dislikes me. And he just goes by that. And there's nothing I can do because he just dislikes me. But then I realized, it was unconscious for him, that dislike. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know, and he doesn't know. But I was able then to open up to that and say, well, that's the way things are. And I was able to accept it and let it go. And I, for the first time in 9 years, I felt peace with that. So it was very helpful. Yeah. It was really nice. So whatever way, so basically we are communicating with a higher self all the time. We are just not conscious about it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, and Maria, I just remembered something as you were talking that I wanted to say about your earlier morning that you shared.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what the connection is, but I keep getting the message that I should share this, so I'm going to. And this is a personal experience that I had in the last couple of days, maybe yesterday. I am living in a place right now where I'm surrounded by freeways. And to go anywhere, I have to get on freeways. And I'm a person who doesn't like to drive. I especially don't like to drive in traffic, and I especially don't like to drive on freeways. And I am finding myself suddenly immersed in a life of driving on freeways. And there's one in particular, I-80, that is very close to where I live. And to get many places, I end up going on I-80, which of all the freeways is probably my least favorite freeway. So I got on I-80 yesterday and had this familiar feeling of kind of, I hate this freeway and dread and this kind of, frustration about my circumstance that I have to endure this. And all of a sudden a light bulb went on and I thought, I need to make friends with this freeway. Like, for however long I'm going to be here, I'm probably going to be on this freeway.
Yeah.
And I started just opening myself to, blessing the freeway, blessing the other cars, blessing everything, seeing the light in the freeway, whatever, came to me in that moment. And it really shifted things. I really had a different experience.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the connection is the possibility that you could have a different feeling towards these painful feelings.
Yeah. I got it. I need to make friends and celebrate my feelings no matter what.
Well, I wouldn't want it to be a should, but I'd like it to be an exploration. Like, what if? Just explore and see what happens.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So with that, I think let's close for tonight. I invite everybody to unmute yourself. We can share a goodbye, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Okay.